How it all began was when I was at Friday's There Dance Studios, and I wanted to become a manager or a studio owner. Liz was my student. She and I competed a lot, and she was a very successful woman. So then, of course, when you become so close to somebody in that kind of relationship, I shared my dream with her one time. I never thought about any of the things that now I have to deal with. At that time, all I wanted was just to dance. How it got worked out financially, I didn't care. And at that very moment, we seriously started Daza Dance as a company together. Then we opened May 16 of 2008. It was humongous, 5 ballrooms. It was really, really beautiful. And Liz put a lot of money and a lot of effort into building that place the way that she and I wanted it. At that point, I was 25 and I was like, wow, I'm opening my own studio. It was too much. It was too much. When the whole thing with the market and the houses and all the stuff happened in 2008, we were just open. It didn't affect us much at the beginning until 2010. The economy started to hit us. It was very competitive between all of us and lots of changes because not everybody was able to handle the pressure of, what it meant to be part of Daza Dance at that time. But then something good happening is that the Buckhead studio in Miami Circle pretty much fell in our lap. That space used to be owned by an amateur couple, but then they got married, they had kids, they didn't use it as much, they had other jobs, they didn't want it. So then Liz and I talked about it and I was like, perfect, that's great, let's do it, let's take it. But then the phone started to ring. And at the beginning I was great because I'm filling up my schedule, but at some time I started to run out of time. And then there was this young woman, very special. Her name is Masha, and she did a very good job. She worked in our company for 7 years. She was something that helped me along and helped the studio and to create the Daza Dance that we have today.
My story at Daza Dance it was a little unexpected. I started taking lessons in the studio that he opened in Jones Creek. One day in 2010, around August, September, I received a call from Antonio saying that he wanted to talk to me.
Listen, I think I want you to become a teacher, or something like that. Mario was like, what? But I'm working in a bank and I'm so successful and I'm rich and I'm handsome and I'm hot and I'm blah, 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 blah.
At that time, I didn't know what to think because I love dancing. Dancing was a hobby for me. It would relieve stress from my day-to-day work.
And I'm like, well, but I really do need your help. I'm like, I'm in crisis. Listen, just come to the studio this and this day and then we'll talk about it.
So I was very afraid that, first of all, I wouldn't be able to enjoy it once it became my main source of income. And second, I didn't believe that I have the skills to teach somebody.
So then he comes to the studio and then I say, well, welcome to Daza Dance, Antonio Daza, nice to meet you. Please come to my office. And I sat in there at the couch and then I said, well, listen, is this something you would like to do? This is what I can do, this is what I can pay you. And he said, yeah, I think I'm gonna say good because you're starting today at 3 p.m. You had your first lesson with so and so and so and so and so. And Mario was like, what?
And that was my first experience. I was freaking out. I remember in my first class I was shaking and I asked him like, what am I gonna teach? I don't know what to teach her. And his answer was, what you already know. He says, you're teaching somebody that comes from not knowing anything, so you already have a knowledge to share that with that person. And I had to make a decision into becoming full-time or completely stop teaching. And I jumped in, he supported me all the time, and I became a full-time teacher until today.
Mario and I, for the longest time, have been needing another guy because our studio has been growing. I started traveling to Argentina, then I meet Maxi.
At that moment, I was just dancing amateur, and I was working at IBM. He told me about the fact that here at the studio, they were looking for another male instructor, and maybe that would be a good opportunity for me. There was a lot of things that went through my mind when I was taking the decision. There was a moment, actually, the week before, I can hear that I would start freaking out, and I say, I'm not going. I'm staying. And I have a friend, Amalia, that she told me, thinking the fact that your grandmother would like for you the best, so you better do it. And I say, okay. It was a completely new experience for me. At the beginning, I was intimidated, but little by little, I started meeting the students. They always make me feel so welcome, and since that moment that I arrived, they opened completely their hearts to welcome me.
And then in between Maxi and Mario, then we have had some other people like Cali. Cali is another one that has contributed a lot just by being there. She's awesome. We had also Irvin, very important person also in the studio. He worked with us. He worked very, very hard. Everybody that have come through Daza Dance has always been for a reason. They have left something. You know, I can say here and name a million people. We used to joke about it. Like, imagine the day when we're 10 years together, and then here's when you put the scratch there and oh, it is 10 years, you know? It's like, wow. But anyway, here we are. So stick with us and have a good time at Daza Dance.